Well, good morning, YouTube. It is June 30th, and we're back up here at the river. It is early. As you can see, the sun is just clearing the horizon. It's been hotter than Satan's armpit the last few afternoons, so I'm getting up here early this morning to see what I can find. Come along for the adventure. Okay, folks, this may be my last river hunt for a little while, unless we get some rain, which this time of year in North Texas is rare but not unheard of. I'm going back to an area we visited before, the original Ladonia Fossil Park. And it's funny, at one time this was, the trample zone. This was just the area that was hammered all the time. Since the new fossil park went in and there's a lot of construction going on behind me, not as many people come in here. I'm seeing, looks like one set of tracks, but I've made some interesting finds here. You might remember back in February, I found a large vertebrae, still had a lot of matrix on it. Later with a young lady named Susan from Wisconsin, and she found two large vertebrae, which mine fit onto. And since they were a match set, I gave her mine. And then last month, I brought a group of kids down here. One of the moms found a huge mosasaur tooth. I think they're all from the same creature. So I'm hoping maybe to find another piece of him today. And if not, at least maybe to find something interesting. But yeah, it is definitely heating up. It's been, if not the actual temperature, the heat index in the hundreds for almost a solid week. And this is the time of year that I traditionally pull out of the river, unless somebody pays me to take them. So I am gonna give this the best shot, try to be out of here by noon. I'm actually fast walking down and then going to slow hunt my way back so that I'm getting closer towards the bridge as I do my hunting. But I'll tune in as I find stuff. Thanks for joining me. Okay, here we are. Boy, it's hot already, and it's only 7:30 in the morning, if that. Anyway, so I've reached my turning around point. There's a lot more gravel you can kind of see behind me, if you can see through the sun glare, that I could hunt. But one of the things about this time of year especially is don't bite off more than you can chew. I have outrun my competition. He really detailed the gravel bars closest to the bridge, and after this big rise, I'm sure he found stuff, but that takes time. And he used up all of his time before he could get down here to the area that I'm hunting. So I've actually got some untouched gravel, which is rare 2 weeks after a rise. I will check in again as I start to find stuff. I want to do one little PSA right here, okay? July and August are the most dangerous times to hunt the river. It gets very hot, 95 to 105 in Texas this time of year, and humidity index can be 110 to 120. So tips, take plenty of fluid. Secondly, get in early, get out early. My goal is to be back at the car before 1 o'clock this afternoon, maybe even before 12, depending on how hot it gets and if we get any breeze. And third, if you can, do your hunt in such a way that you're hunting back towards your vehicle instead of getting further and further away from it and then have to hike the whole distance on the way out. I carry 2-gallon bottles of Powerade with me. I finish one, and then I know it's turn around, drink the other one on the way back. So anyway, I will be checking in as we find stuff, and hopefully we'll have some cool finds to share here in the next little bit. But just, if you're going to come down to this time of year, be sensible, okay? Been at it for about an hour. Not a lot photo worthy, but I just got this nice little gastropod. Always like finding these. Well, it's been pretty slow, to be honest, and I've really not seen much by way of artifacts. Not a scraper, not a broke, not that many flint chips, but I finally got something right here. It's just a preform, and it's kind of crude and ugly, but it's an artifact. I don't know that there is any way to preserve this, but how cool. It's It's in that really soft gray shale. That's a lobster claw or a really big crab. I mean, you can see the serrations on it. That is such a cool fossil, but that shale, I know the minute I put it in my backpack, it's going to start to break apart. I don't even know if I can try to get it out of here, but I feel like I have to. I may carry that thing back to the car. Okay, I just scooped this out of the water before I realized what it was, but that is a nice big chunk of mosasaur bone. Looks like maybe the top of a rib. And that's a big one. If that's the top of a rib, that's from a 40+ foot Tylosaurus, because I've excavated big Tylosaurus and only the largest ones have rib heads that are that big around. All right, that's my first really good fossil of the day. This is turning into a banner day for fossils. I am having to be very careful because I still got that crab claw and I'm trying my best not to break it anymore as I carry it upstream. But here's another rib top from the big boy. And then here's a piece of another mosasaur coming out of the red bed. I know they're not the same because the matrix they're coming out of is completely different colors. But wow, that's 2 large mosasaurs. And the largest crab fossil I've ever found in my life. I know somebody that can prep it out if I can just get it back to the car in one piece. But oh, it is so delicate. I knew he was a big one. This is the biggest mosasaur I've seen since Big Boy back in 2001. Just to give you an idea. Oh my gosh, look at that. Whoo, look at that. What a monster. I love him. Mwah. No. Okay, arrowheads are fun and all, but I'll admit I came down here to find pieces of the big boy. Looks like another one right here. Yeah, that's part of a top of this flipper bone. Oh man, this is exciting. I want to find where he's coming out. Oh man, if I find a string, this is a vertebrae, this is going to be one of my best episodes ever. Well, it's getting hot and so am I. This quit being about arrowheads a little while ago. I'm trying to follow the breadcrumbs, figure out where the big guy's coming out. I know he's above this gravel bar because we found 3 of his vertebrae and 1 of his teeth on this gravel bar earlier this year. I think he's probably pretty well exposed because there's enough bone I found washed far enough downstream. A good bit of his skeleton must be showing. I just got to figure out where he's coming out. I'm going to try and find him between here and that bridge. There is no greater proof of God's love than nice cold AC in the middle of a Texas summer. Woo-hoo. Anyway, back in the car, headed home, cooled off significantly. I'll lay out my finds in a minute. I think that was a good hunt to end my river season on. A couple of nice rare fossils and 1 butt ugly pooter point. I'll lay them out for you here in a minute. Okay, so here's the day's finds. First of all, artifacts, kind of puny. 1 really worn mosasaur vertebrae. Maybe that's the top of another rib, actually. I thought that was a vertebrae, but I didn't look at it too closely. A few shellfish. This is a big piece of another animal, but it's coming out of a different matrix. So that one I think is a different critter. Then got that huge vertebrae, just by measure. I have really big hands. That's an enormous vertebrae. 2 rib tops from this guy. I don't even know what this bone is. Now that looks like the top of a flipper, and this is a heavily pyrotized rib, and then this crab claw. And look, it's still got spines coming off of it. I don't know how I got that back to the car in one piece, but I'm going to have some help stabilizing it because it is so fragile. But that is one of the coolest things I've ever found. All right, well, that was a good note to end my river season on.